Amara stood stunned, her hands trembling. Kofi knelt before her, not as a prince, but as a husband. In a small village at the edge of the savannah called Agbodo, where red earth met white skies and the baobab trees stood like ancient guardians, lived a little orphaned girl named Amara. Her parents had passed when she was still learning to braid grass into dolls, and she was taken into the care of her aunt, Mama Shadi. Mama Shade's compound was always noisy with laughter, except where Amara stood. The girl woke up before sunrise to sweep the yard, fetch water from the stream, and cook meals she rarely tasted. When mistakes happened, Mama Shade's words were sharp and kindness was scarce. Amara learned early to keep her head bowed and her heart strong. At night she whispered her dreams to the stars, believing they listened. Despite the hardship, Amara grew with quiet grace. She learned to sing as she walked, her voice carrying across the fields like a promise. Elders noticed her gentleness. Children followed her because she shared what little she had. Yet Mama Shade saw only a burden. When Amara came of age, the aunt decided it was time to be rid of her. There is a man, Mama Shade announced one evening, her voice firm. Poor with nothing to offer but empty hands. You will marry him. The news felt strange in Amara's ear. Amara's heart trembled. In her village, marriage was sacred, meant to be woven with care and choice. But she had no voice. The wedding was simple, no drums, no celebration, just a hurried ceremony under a neem tree. The groom's name was Kofi. He wore plain clothes and carried himself with humility. His eyes, however, held a calm depth that surprised Amara. As they left the village together, Amara expected her life to grow heavier. Instead, something gentle unfolded. Kofi spoke kindly. He listened. He shared stories of distant lands and lessons learned on the road. Though they lived in a small hut near the hills, laughter found its way inside. Kofi worked hard, farming by day and crafting by night. He treated Amara not as a burden, but as a partner. Weeks turned into months, and Amara's heart began to heal. She learned that love could be quiet and steady. Kofi never raised his voice. When food was scarce, he made sure Amara ate first. When rain leaked through the roof, he stayed awake to fix it. For the first time, Amara felt safe and happy. One evening, during the season of festivals, messengers arrived on horseback. They wore royal clothing and carried symbols of authority. The village gathered, whispering in awe. The messenger called out Kofi's name and bowed deeply. It was then the truth was revealed. Kofi was the lost son of a king, a prince who had left the palace years before to understand his people and chose a life guided by humility. He had hidden his identity to find genuine love, not one attracted by crowns and gold. The news spread like wildfire. Amara stood stunned, her hands trembling. Kofi knelt before her, not as a prince, but as a husband. I chose you, he said softly, not because of where you came from, but because of who you are. You are kind, beautiful at heart, and worthy of being my princess and my queen, he said. They were invited to the kingdom where drums welcomed them, and dancers filled the streets with color. Amara was bathed in oils, dressed in fine clothes, and taught the ways of the palace. Yet, the greatest gift was not the palace. It was the respect she received after long years of suffering and pain. As queen, Amara never forgot her past. She built schools for orphaned children, supported widows, and ensured no child went unheard. Mama Shade, hearing of Amara's rise, came seeking favor. Amara met her with dignity, offering forgiveness without bitterness. Years passed, and the kingdom flourished under love and wisdom. At sunset, Amara often sat with Kofi beneath the baobab trees in the palace gardens, remembering the little girl who once whispered dreams to the stars. And she believed the stars listened, and in their glow, Amara lived happily, wrapped in love, care, and the knowledge that destiny sometimes hides behind simplest of doors.